All right, look, what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk about my journey. Because I guess in recovery, in AA, Celebrate Recovery, NA, and anything, you sort of give a testimony. You share from the heart about your journey. I haven't done one in a while, I guess, for social media. And a lot of me doesn't want to. And it's hard to explain. Because I've talked about it in the videos prior, because people do listen. More people than what the views say, I can tell you that. But going into this, okay, because my name is Matt and I'm a real alcoholic. And I am. Okay, going into this, admitting, see, the biggest obstacle, I guess, well, it's going to be anyone's biggest obstacle, okay, is to admit that they're alcoholic, okay, admit, because if you watch a lot of TV, they make fun of, and people are, so you kind of keep it to yourself, or you're just bad enough, like some of us, to where everybody knows. So, because in the event that we do admit that we're an alcoholic, okay, this is what I had to do. I had to accept true change. I had to accept true change. And what I mean by that is, okay, these never worked. And if you know my story, I've been in dozens of detoxes, dozens of ER rooms, dozens of this and that. I've been ICU twice, psych wards. And the whole time is in the trying to get better was always there. But the true change wasn't there. But this was in there. And some of us are just like, it's not working. It's not working. So I had to go back into my subconscious. Because I used to deal drugs. Like what they gave us to sell. I mean, we sold this. What do you do? Zans. Well, I'm just writing down everything. And there's more. But this right here, whenever I go back and look, do you know who bought that? Teachers, lawyers, even police, parents, grandparents, moms, dads, all walks of life. So I always felt in school like something's not right. Something's just not right with a plant. They're just, and some of us see before we get to hear. It's called a prophetic vision of what these really do. So in the event of this true change, after all those detoxes and stuff, I'm not going to get better on these. But you know what? Everybody that had good careers and all this other stuff was jumping on that. And I sold it all the time, but then it made me paranoid. But how am I going to get it in me? I guess I got to eat it. But that's not the thing. Okay? Events in our life have to create that obstacle in front of us to just disappear. And one of the events in my life was I was in anger management. Okay? This will destroy the obstacle course that's in front of us. And I was in anger management. And with a guy, of course, he's the county guy who gets to evaluate you too when you go to the hospitals. But anyways, we're in class because I'm court appointed to go to anger management. And there's probably 9 of us in there, I think, and $45 a pop. So it ain't no AA meeting. This is something for the state. But it's anger management. Well, I get kicked out. It's like, this is anger management, right? Aren't we? Because, you know, so me and this guy, we get to arguing with each other. Because he represents people in court and all that shit. And we're standing out there and he tells me, he goes, I'm going to see you on the front page for murder one day. And to me, I'm going to a structure that is professional. But see, in this system, it ain't AA. AA, you can say whatever you want. Any fucking thing if it's a good meeting. But now I'm in there and I'm getting kicked out and the money, and I'm like, you see how much money you're making? You don't care about us. You don't even know what we go through. And the careers and the experts don't. Not us down here. So he told me he'd see me on the front page for murder one day. So fast forward for 2 years, 3 years, I guess. No, I think it was around 2 years. 3 years. Because, see, I had to go to anger management for some shit. Some of us get in trouble in court. And I was done with that. So after I got kicked out of that, and truthfully, I had done anger management in Tennessee and everywhere. So when I went and I said, he kicked me out, so I can't go no more. So if you need to revoke me, go ahead. And she goes, oh, you already had enough. I just didn't tell you. And it's like, so you didn't, I just kept doing them because to get it over with. And you fucking didn't tell me that. And so I really didn't even have to go anymore. But I had to. My higher power worked through my PO that she doesn't even know what created all this. Some of her shitty behavior is what created this, combined with a bunch of other stuff. Her not telling me that, I went to that anger management, got kicked out. He told me that he'd see me on the front page for murder one day. So I stayed in a funk, not because of him, but what he said to me was in there. It registered just like a computer. It went in there. You know, and I was having a hard time in life. Me and my ex-wife, of course, a lot of us are separated in this ball game we call recovery. New way of life. And I came home one night. I was trying to quit drinking. I tried and tried on my own, and it ain't going to happen. And I was broke too, because, you know, just like anything that takes a hold of you, like a demon spirit, it's going to take you out into the bitter end, you know. And I had some change from my daughter's piggy bank. My youngest daughter, she's 16 now, and I think she was 3 or 4, maybe 5. But anyways, I get $5 and change out of that, and then I go to my mom's, of course, and beg for $5 for gas money. And the best of my recollection, I stopped and I got 2 6-packs of natural ices. In the articles, if you research about me, it says natural light, and that's a lie. It's natural ice. It's 5.2 16-ounce 6-packs. So that's 18 12-ounce beers. And I sat out in the driveway out there, because I was shaking, and those racing thoughts were going everywhere, and anger and fear and all that created through malnourishment and dehydration and everything. Not just from the alcohol, but from the food, from the good food that we don't get. And I couldn't handle it anymore, and I had to go get some. And I went and bought those and sat out there and chugged all 6 of them within like 5 minutes. 18 beers gone. 12 ounce when you weigh it out. So I sort of blacked out, came in, and the next thing I know, I was in a corner over here, and the police were here because my ex had called the law. And even the police officer said that I looked like there was a demon in me. And see, alcohol is wine, liquor, and whiskey, all that shit. It's wine and spirits. Alcohol that we get is this, it's a spirit. It's a demon. It doesn't matter how pretty they make it look, it's a demon. It's a demon spirit is what it is. It's not from God, it's from death. Real alcohol comes from spring well water and comes from the earth, and the grapes, and you've got to grow, cultivate the grapes, this fruit, whatever it is, it takes time. Then that's from God, because it's all minerals put together. The way this is made now is with additives and modified and everything, and the substances in them actually deplete the cell salts, caliphos, in our brain, and then it creates the withdrawals and then the drive and the addiction to it, just like in a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is just as addictive as the alcohol now. And that shit kills Christians more than anything. So I chugged it, law was called, and I'm standing there in the corner. Next thing I know, I'm up here at the hospital. And who was sitting at the front of the bed? Who do you think it was? I said the guy from anger management, he did the evaluations for people in this county. Well, in the tri-state area, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, the northwest. And it was him sitting at the foot of the bed. And he was the man that said he would see me on the front page for murder one day. And when I opened my eyes, because he evaluates the people, he works for the state and whatever. I was sitting there in that hospital bed, and when I did my head and I opened my eyes, something ignited inside of me. And I can't explain it. There's no explanation for it. You have something that has ignited you. Maybe you don't know yet what it was, but I can tell you this, I've talked about it. But when I saw that man, all I saw in my head was the last time I saw him, when he said, "I'll see you on the front page for murder." And something lit up inside of me. And he sat there and he had on his glasses. Let me get mine. And he's sitting at the foot of the bed. And he had his foot across his knee. He had his foot across his knee, twirling his foot around. And he goes, "You remember me? Just like a fucking nerd would." And something made me so calm. I don't know, I wish I could be that calm now. And I remember saying, "Give me just a minute." Because his job is for me to say I'm going to hurt myself so he can put me in a psych ward or a detox or some shit like that. And I said to the police officer, because they were in there, some shit happened. He left, and I said, "Get me a cigarette." And Bonham, the cop, goes, "You don't fucking smoke." And I said, "Get me a cigarette, man." So he went and got me one, and hell, he let me go outside and smoke a cigarette. And I told him, I said, "Look, I can just go home and kill myself right now." That's the thing, that's where we are in our thinking. And, think about how many people that have done that didn't have that kind of ignition to ignite them, something. They just go on and die, take themselves out. And I said, "I've done it a million times." And he said, "Do it again." And I said, "But if I do this, I'm going to take his job. I'm going to prove that everything is fucked up." And little did I know we would get to here. So we go back in there, and the guy's name's Michael, of course, Michael. It's Michael to y'all, but the way I've been hearing it and pronouncing it, it's Michael. Anyways, Michael comes back in there, and I said, "I want to hurt myself." And then that's when they strapped me down for real. And then I told him, I said, "When I come back," and that's all I said, "when I come back." And so we go to Atlanta. And went to the Peachford down there in Atlanta. Sorry, I'm very emotional. I'm holding in my tears because it's just, I'm sitting here working on fucking 8 years and I don't have nobody around me. There ain't nobody in my family around me. I've lost everything for this. I've lost everything for the truth. You know, so I go down to detox. And truthfully, I didn't know where I was at. They didn't tell me. And then we get down there, and I was at Peachford. And then I called my wife at the time, and I was just crying. She didn't even know where I was. And, you know, it's not hard talking about what you go through because you're supposed to go through it in this system, some of us statistically. But my mom picked me up. What's fucked up about that is my mom won't listen to anything I have to say. Nothing. They have done forgotten about me working on 8 years with nothing from the pharmacy or anything. That I'm really real healthy. I went from the hospital bed. God brought me from the hospital bed through policemen, black people, white people, trans, gay, straight, cool people, not the ones y'all watch on TV, and nobody gives a fuck about that, through cannabis and hemp and cell salts and lots of alkalinic water comes from the ground. No, fuck you, man. Who cares? That's how crazy the world is. They all think that pills fixes everything. They can't, look, this is, right fast, this is a bonus. They can't get off of that. They've seen 1 billion of these commercials. That's real, man. But to sit here and, if I could go back in that hospital bed, let's think for a minute whenever I said I was going to harm myself. People have asked me, they're like, deep talkers, would you change anything? How could we rephrase that? Would you do the same thing if you knew you were going to lose your whole family? Your whole family and friends, everybody, because they don't like what I say. They cannot listen. And I never listened. I got better when I started listening. But see, all them as a whole, they can't stop watching TV and eating pills and fried foods and sucking down energy drinks and shit substances. That's normal to them. And I can tell you, all that stuff kills you as fast as alcohol does. So you're in the same boat I was. That's why we're foreign. I'd go back and do it again. I'd lose them again. This ain't about them. We're supposed to put God first. It's what we're supposed to do, and now everybody puts the world first. And they do. Through selfish desires. Same thing alcoholics have. So my mom picks me up down there in Atlanta, at Peachford, and I told her, I said, you need to take me to Downtown Fellowship here in Chattanooga. And went in there, broke down in there in that AA meeting. Mike, black man, my brother, my mentor, you know, they wrote down 20 numbers in there. And by his, he put, call me. And I ain't saying anybody else is bad. I'm just saying he went the extra mile and put, call me. Because, see, what's within him saw what was in me. It just needed to be watered. It just needed to be brought to life. While everybody else is putting pills, Matt! Pills! Matt, you need to shut up, mate. Pills! When a black man started with the white cop, and then the black man at the ending of the detox. Everything going on now, we can rebuttal all that shit and make y'all look horrible. Nobody wants to hear a good story, though, about Christ or God or anything. They'd rather watch Christina Aguilera with a dildo on stage around children and then come at me and say, you are fucking crazy, Matt. That's the world y'all live in. And those of y'all live around me that say it's not here, You're watching it on your phone, ain't you? It's here. You a dumbass. So, we go to Downtown Fellowship, and Mike wrote that on there, called me. And I called him, and I was very bad withdrawals and all that. Slowly the process began, year one. And you saw what happened. That's 1 year. And we got those articles. But he taught me how to use my past. All my experiences. We got to go through them, and we've got to dissect, and we've got to apply that to your life in order to have success. Not here, Matt. You go to universities and you got a success piece of paper that says I can do whatever. I can have a 2-week degree in recovery and addiction. Yeah. It's like y'all are fucking stupid because I'm an expert. I'm over this son of a bitch. Yeah, because he pushes the shit that kills you. I push the shit that cures you. That's what Mike taught me. That's what the fruits that came out of a black man watering spiritual life onto me. The world will not do that. You're a fuck up. Look at you. Look at you. And nobody's in my shape, in my family, my friends, any fucking body. They're not. Not at my age. Not at what I do. Come follow me with a camera to the world, to the haters. Come follow me every day. Let's see if you can make it. Everybody goes to bed on those every night. I can get up at 4 in the morning and ride around, and I can show you where everybody is. They're on sorcery inside of their house. Never looking up, paying attention to TV, watching all that bullshit, making fun of alcoholics and addicts, never talking about the food addiction, because the food addiction is what creates the hospitals. Now I'm getting way out there in fucking left field, but see, the glorification of alcohol creates the detoxes, rehabs, emergency room psych wards, and everything else, splits families, all that. Matt, you're crazy. Cannabis does the opposite. And in y'all's heads, you know, because it's not something you can talk about in AA. I'm sorry, we got #1 articles in the world. Do potheads do that? No, y'all are in the world and can't do it. Y'all are on pills and can't do it. We did it in a fucking year from the hospital bed after 20 years of smashing the body with heavy drugs and alcohol. But we didn't do it. God did it. We're just messengers. We got to unlock what's inside of you. And I don't know what that is. You do. And maybe you'll think about that shit for a while and be like, what is it? It's something's in you. I don't know. But I wanted to share just that little bit because I don't want to make it too long. I'll go into another video about my journey, hopefully, you know, after me and Mike got together. I love you.